It's a very interesting thing. And at times when I deal with it, it also sounds as if as I go through it, sometimes it seems very esoteric. Okay, so yeah, it's only probably for people who would be able to uh, who may be ready in some way or not. So and every time I think about what to talk about, okay, and one way I would have been to make it very structured, okay, and I have got a structure, even I have got a flow chart to it there, okay, on how to go about it with proper test, and probably one day I'll run through the test, okay, or probably next week I'll try to do that. The other way which I'm experimenting with is to do it as it comes. So after a very what I felt was a heavy thing that we did last week, okay, which was a little outside, in a sense, outside syllabus as well, okay. But it was a very interesting thing that came. I don't know how, and I think some of you were there. Probably Shaveta and Anshu were not there, but I think Debarti and Chitra were there. Probably I don't remember Chitra also probably, but Debarti definitely was there.
Last
You were there, Chitra? I think Kavita was also there,
Yes,
probably.
yes, it was. I wanted to share my feedback
Yeah,
that
yeah, please, please. I wanted to ask because I just broke that session at that time and went away because I just couldn't do anything after that. But yeah, what Chitra, I would love to hear something on that.
yes. So when you say be the unknown, so be the unknown has two things.
Hmm.
First, it you get fear when you really don't know, or when you have the anxiety.
Correct.
But at the same time, I noticed I'm too attached to the things that I have known. Like,
Hmm.
like I'm too attached to the outcome that I know it has to happen this way. And when it does not happen, that brings me why. I was experimenting this, let's see what else it can bring, because usually we have this, beliefs, it is going to happen in a certain way. So I just thought, let it happen the way it has to happen, and let me be just like, I don't know what's going to happen, let it be. So till now I have I am becoming aware that there are so many things where I have this, I know this.
Yeah,
So at least I'm becoming aware.
yeah,
And the visualization meditation which you did in the last of the session
correct. Yeah,
was so good that, I always thought that how can you feel that you are not attached to your body, or
yeah,
how you can feel, you are not body, because you see your hands working, and every time it's a reminder you're breathing, it's a reminder that you are in your body. So
yeah,
when you did that meditation of visualization, I kind of felt that, body is made up of particle,
yeah,
and they are so slowly moving away, and there is a ball of energy, or a kind of, I couldn't feel the body form. So that is something, and I felt so relaxed at the same time. I don't know why. So I wanted to thank you for that. Yes.
yeah. No, thanks, thanks. Because that was the first time I did that meditation, or whatever you would call it. Okay, and it was so powerful for me as well that I just couldn't talk after that, so I had to just close the session abruptly and move out. Okay, and the only thing which I felt later on was that all answers are also there in the unknown. So if you wanted an answer, you could have just gone there. Okay? But just to take the other point, in fact, all source of conflict, and I was trying to find out and this is what I was reading today. Okay, all source of conflict is because of the known and the unknown. What I know and I'm familiar with is good for me. Whether it is my political ideology, whether it is my country, whether it is my religious ideology, okay, and that makes what I know good for me, and what I don't know not good or bad for me. That's where all duality also comes in. Okay. And the moment you are able to step beyond that boundary, that it becomes that much easier for you to experience singularity. Okay. Or you call it singularity, you call it advait, okay, whatever you call that. Okay. And all pain and misery is because of separation. When the child is in the mother's womb, though it is an independent entity, yet it is still with the mother and it's not separate from the mother. The separation only happens when the child leaves the womb, which is probably the most safest place in the world because you are provided for, right? In the womb, you are provided for without doing anything. The separation happens when you move, when you come out of the womb. And in fact, one school of psychology says that all of life is a is a trauma response to that single trauma of being separated from your mother. It's a very interesting school. And everything, in fact, our identity happens, starts from there. But if you now extrapolate that to your life outside and being in the universe, and if you start now to reframe your thought to assume that you are in the womb of the universe where you are independent and yet you are with the creator, and know that you will be provided for, and know that in fact almost everybody is provided for, then the separation and the duality goes away. Am I making sense? Just compare yourself. Now, when you are in the mother's womb, you are separate, you have an identity, you have a life, but you are still one with the creator, one with the mother. You are not separate. Though you have an identity of your own, you are distinct, but you are still not separate. Okay, that's a very interesting state. Okay, but at least that gives some idea of how there is a distinctness, there is a life, but yet you are with the creator and you are completely provided for by the creator. But anyway, that's a any other experiences. I know we've been doing now this is, I don't know, sixth, seventh. Okay, do you like this unstructured way, or do you would want me to be structured? And I do have a set of questions which I would want to give you to answer. And do you want to do like that, or are you okay with this of doing as it comes? Just any thoughts?
I think unstructured is fine, like as we go along. Uh,
Anything is
I
happening
can.
for you. I'll tell you a very interesting thing that is happening. I am in Pune today, in fact. Okay, come for a program. Almost every single person I have met in Pune today has told me that I have lost so much of weight in the last 2 3 months. Okay, I'm here after about 2 or 3 months, And they said, "Oh, you're looking so thin, you lost so much weight." And I have done nothing for weight loss. And I was just wondering, this whole business about becoming empty. I don't know what it is emptying me with. Okay, but I have lost so much. Almost everybody who's told me, every single person who met me told me that you have lost so much weight. What are you doing? What are you doing for your weight management? What are you doing for? And I said, and I can't remember anything that I've done for my weight management in the last 3 months. Last 3 months, nothing. Okay. So I don't know what this emptying business is doing for me. And I'm very curious to know what it is doing for you. Is it doing anything for you? Okay. I don't know what it's doing for you, but I would be very curious to know what you are experimenting with. And it was so nice to hear Chitra talk about her experiment. Okay. What are you experimenting with? Whether it is language, whether it is identity, whether it is awareness. Okay. Are you working with any of this? Okay. And what is happening as you work with any of this? Okay. Because only when you start working with any one of this, will be so it will be very interesting to see what you are working with. Are you working with the unknown, which is a little exotic thing to work with? It's very very interesting. But are you working with simple things like language patterns, your own language patterns? Are you working with your sense of identity? And today, that is what I would want to talk about. So today, I thought I'll give you something more concrete to work upon than the known and the unknown, which is very abstract to work upon. It's not a easy concept to work upon, though. I tried to make it a little cognitive. By giving you the some examples, but it's still very abstract to work upon. So today we'll work upon identity and the various levels of identity, so that you can also look at how you are defining predominantly your identity, because each of us define predominantly our identity. So there are 4 or 5 levels, and I'll take you through those levels today. Okay, and let's see what comes out. Okay, at the very root is the environment. So all of us live and operate in an environment at any given time. Today I am in Pune, in our Himjawadi campus, and Chetan has been here, so Chetan would know. Probably he's been here in this very room once. So Chetan would know. Chetan was here with family once. Okay, so I am here in Pune in my company guest house, and that's an environment. And you can be in your house with your family, at your workplace. Even in your family, you're probably a different person when you are with the family, you are a different person when you are in the bedroom with your partner. It's a different environment. Or you are maybe with your friends and it's a different environment. And we are different people in different environment. So the first thing when you're looking at identity is to understand the various environments that I operate in, and know that the environment has an impact. So know so environment, because my behavior, but the next step above environment is my behavior. How do I behave? And why I started with environment is my behavior is different in different environments. When I am here in office, as come here to take a session, and I'm here staying along with the participants, I am the trainer, I am the facilitator, the trainer. So my behavior is very different. I am seen as knowledgeable, so I have to act and I'll behave like a trainer. And probably what I would do normally, maybe with friends, I'll not do here, because I'm now conscious about my image as a trainer here. So I have to seem knowledgeable. I have to seem to be holding to some of those things which I will be talking about tomorrow. So I have to be seen as practicing them. And that's why I'm different. Whereas when I am with my family, I may be different, and my behavior would be different, and the behavior may change also if probably I feel at my work environment less powerful or less equal than others. I may compensate it at home. And if I am not able to stand up at home also to my parents, and if I have a authority relationship with my parent, and I am not able to be myself my parent, but when I am in the bedroom with my wife, I may compensate and I may try to put my power and bring my self-esteem over there and try to dominate over there because I'm compensating somewhere else. And my behavior will differ depending upon how I see my image as a husband, or what is my image of what a wife should be. And depending on my image of what a wife should be, my behavior will change. On depending on what my image as a daughter-in-law should be, how I behave will change. So the first level of identity, one is identity is depending upon the environment. You saw that in different environments, I have different identity. And then how I behave, which is the next level above environment, how I behave depends upon what image I have given to myself about a trainer. If I'm a trainer at, if I'm looking at the work environment and look at my professional role, or how I see myself as a spouse, or as a son, or whatever it is, or as a father, and my image of a father will determine my behavior in that environment. So my next identity comes from my next understanding of my identity comes from what role I give to myself and what is my definition and idea of that role in that environment. Now, my as I move up from my behavior, how I do my role depends upon what I believe my capability is. So, my idea of my capabilities and my skills will determine how I think of myself in that particular role. So, how much capable do I feel of myself when I'm work? What is my idea of my capability? Do I feel I am a very learned guy? I know my subject well. I feel I am an expert at this. My behavior will be very different than if I am not very sure. So, for example, when I make a statement, I don't think I can dance. And there are many people who come and say, no, no, I can't dance. I'm not a good dancer. What is that statement? That statement is a statement about my capability as a dancer. Somebody can say, I can dance, but I can't dance in front of my in-laws. Or I can't dance in front of my students. Now, that is not a question about my capability, but that is a question about my environment. How can I dance in front of my students? My image as a trainer, I can't dance. And today they have gone to a party. I have not gone to a party. Okay, by the way, there is a party tonight where they have gone. And I have not gone there because I just can't do. I mean, they are all young folks or technology folks. Uh, I can't do clubbing. I'm not very comfortable doing that. So I said I've got a session tonight. You guys go ahead, and yeah, we will anyway have a session tomorrow. I've got a session with them tomorrow. So the question is not my ability to dance, but the question is dancing with young guys. I mean, will I be able to do that? I don't want to do that. So it is either my capability or my environment. where the challenge may lie. So my next identity comes from my capability. So when I say I am a dancer, when I say I am a good cook, I enjoy cooking, and there are people, housewives, who are good at cooking, and and they so much identify with that part of being being a good cook, that entire identity revolves around food, and they're fretting about what meal should I do next, kal नाश्ते में क्या खाएंगे, and their whole life and identity revolves around that because of their ability, and that creates their ability. So that capability becomes their identity. When I am very good at sports, and there was this girl I was dealing with, she was very good at badminton. And when she got, as long as still she was in school, she used to get a chance to play badminton. Something happened in her family. Her father stopped her going out, stopped her badminton, put into college. Her badminton was taken away, and she became such a poor performer. And not just a poor performer, she just couldn't communicate with people. So the college sent her to me as a case that she doesn't open up, she doesn't talk. And the whole thing came away is that when the badminton was taken away from her, that badminton and the way she was good at badminton, she was going able to go out there and perform. That identity had been so close to her that the moment that identity was taken away from her, she just lost interest in life. And she just lost interest in interacting and communicating with people. And it came out that she is not a good communicator. It became a communication, but it was not a communication skill challenge. The challenge was that what her identity was as a badminton player, that was taken away from her. And nobody realized that. So our capabilities, what we feel we are good at, or what we feel we are not good at. Even what we feel not we are not good at also at times becomes a very, yeah, somebody who feels she's not got a good body or he's not got a good body has a constant fear of losing the partner because they identify so much with their body and they feel they are not good at something, and that not good at starts creating all their fears and their identification with that, and that's where body shaming starts coming in, right? My identification is so strong with my body that I can't, that when that is not right, I start developing fear of losing people in my life, and that becomes part of my identity. So we looked at environment, we looked at behavior of how we behave depending upon the roles we do. So in the environment, we have roles. The roles determine how we behave in different environments. And then the behavior is first influenced by what is my belief about my capabilities in that role, in that environment. As we go beyond skills and capabilities, start to come the more deeper things. And that is my belief about my capabilities and my behaviors. And my belief that for being a good mother, and I'm just giving a few examples here, and I'm giving a lot of women examples because almost all women I see here, the only guy who was there decided to drop out. Okay, probably he'll join again, Chetan. Okay, but my belief of a good mother is that somebody who is, my belief is that if a woman spends a lot more time in career, then she has to sacrifice her family. And my belief about being a good mother is that I am the woman who spends more time with her child is a good mother. And if I opt for a career growth, I will have to sacrifice time with family. And if I don't give time to family, that means I'm not a good mother or I'm not a good wife. And since that identity of a mother or a wife is very important to me, I start creating this conflict in my mind between career and family because it becomes a or for me, not a and. And I may work, but when I still will work, but with a lot of guilt. Because either it's the society or whatever you call it has given this notion to me that spending time away and focusing on career means having to neglect your or having to somewhere, if not neglect, sacrifice somewhere on your family. And so we have so many women. And today only I was one of our senior leaders was telling us about a case where women come and say, don't give me a promotion, I don't want a promotion, because they have formed this belief that the moment I have promotion, that means I'll have to work more, and if I have to work more, that means I'll have to sacrifice my family. These are all beliefs and meanings I have made of my own, because I have now identified with that role so much, and my belief about that role is that if I do A, then that's my belief about a role. My belief about career growth is that it comes at the cost of personal. So I may sacrifice my personal time, and there are because I do these women leadership programs, I have known women who have sacrificed their hobbies because a hobby means I'm spending time with myself, and the more self care I do, that means I'm not caring for the others. And my belief about the role of the mother is that a mother takes care of everybody else at the cost of her own care. And self care, in fact, is one of the biggest challenge that research says women have. Okay, because if I spend time with myself for my hobbies, somewhere there is a guilty feeling about doing that. That comes from my belief. So you saw environment, behavior, capabilities, now my beliefs. And my beliefs come from the next level of what are my values. What I feel is important. So for me, for example, respect is a very, very important value for me. And I feel that no matter what, there has to be respect. And my belief about respect as a way would be that if somebody questions me, then my sense of respect is hurt. Because for example, for I'm we and many of us have grown up saying that you shouldn't question your parents, right? That's a common belief that we are told in at least our culture. And then we go to school and we are said you can't question your teachers. And then we start working or we start getting married, and then that authority figure changes from parent to a teacher, may change then to a in-law, may change to a husband, may change to a boss at work. But my belief is that people in authority should not be questioned. And one day I move into a position of authority. And when I move to a position of authority, that belief gets transferred. And if somebody questions me, I feel lack of respect because I have grown continuously believing that authority should not be questioned. And the day I become an authority, I may become a parent, or I may at work become a manager, and then the Gen Z guy or the millennial guy may question me and say, why are we doing like this? And I don't see it as a question on the process or the question on the organization policy. I see it as a question on my authority, and my sense of respect gets hurt because now I identify so much with that value of respect. Or I may feel I'm a very honest person, and I may have a definition of honesty. Because honesty is such a, and all values, if you take, whether you take respect, you take honesty, you take security, you take anything that we say as value, you take integrity, all values are vague words. Every single value is a vague word. And whatever I believe about the value is only a meaning that I have made for myself. That meaning I might have learned in some way or some place, but that is a meaning I have made for myself. There is no standard definition of honesty. There is no standard definition of respect. There is no standard definition of security. There is no standard definition of integrity. Every definition of a value is something that I have learned and I have created for myself. For somebody, when I make a travel and if I'm spending on myself, then claiming that also is like a dishonesty. Somebody may say, oh, I'm doing a job, and in the job, if I have to do this, for somebody it may not be, for somebody it may be professionalism, for somebody it may be dishonesty. It's just how I have defined honesty for myself. But sometimes, and values is where things start getting tricky, because we are so, for somebody tradition is a value. My forefathers did it, my father did it, so I have to do it. And that tradition is so close. Anything that makes tradition, I am not willing to look at it. I get extremely uncomfortable. I make it violent. Values means something that is very, very close and important for me. Whether it is right or wrong doesn't matter. And the moment a value is threatened, my sense of identity gets threatened. Because I so am attached to that. But the respect is so integral for me that if I am not respected and I feel I am not respected, I will just not be able to operate in that environment. But now, if you look at it impartially, when I am insulted, or when I feel that I am being insulted, finally, it's a insult is a judgment I am making, right? I don't even know what the other guy means. But if somebody gives, let's say somebody gives me a bad word or uses a curse. Yeah, no, curse, what do they call that? But somebody uses a bad word for me. Bad word. And if I tell you, for example, hey, I mean, how are you? I mean, so stupid. Can't you understand that? It's such a stupid thing. I mean, you are so stupid. I mean, can't you understand? You will feel bad because you will feel somewhere your sense of respect is hurt. But imagine I say this, and I don't know how many of you know Marathi here, but I don't know any foreign language. But I say, अरे तुला कळत पण नाही का? हे काय तुला कळत नाहीये? Or somebody says the same stupid in a language that you don't understand, you will not feel anything. Simply because you have not understood what the person has said. So the whole thing about being heard is because it's a language that you understand. But if you change the language and say the same thing, you don't feel hurt because you have no idea of what the person has said. So, in a sense, it is only a meaning I am making of that and a judgment I am passing on myself that is making me feel hurt. If I believe that I am not stupid and somebody tells me that, I won't feel hurt because I know very clearly I am not that. If somebody starts calling me not as a man but as a woman, I will not feel hurt. I will feel that guy is foolish, that guy is stupid because I know I am a man, I am not a woman. But if he starts referring me to as her, I'll say, oh, that guy has lost his sense. Because I have no doubt about my identity as a man. So I don't feel hurt. So when somebody calls me stupid and I feel hurt, it's not because one, because I understand that language and that's why I have a meaning for stupid. And second thing is, I somewhere relate that meaning to myself. Or I have doubt about that. Because if I did not have a doubt, then I would say that guy is stupid to call me a stupid. How can I be stupid? So a lot of our pain and our deep pain is when our beliefs and values are questioned. But our beliefs and values are only our meanings. They are not some cast in stone thing. So that is the next level. And any questions so far here? Do you have any questions so far as we went from environment to behavior to capabilities to beliefs and now to values? Any questions on this? Are you able to relate it?
Yes, I think till beliefs it is understandable. But then you said that beliefs also it's like uh, your belief is the way you look at it, the prism through which you see that belief. So the same belief for different persons may act out differently,
Different
right?
people will have different beliefs.
Yeah.
Beliefs are the prisms or the filters through which we see the world. Our beliefs
Okay.
are the filters through which we see the world.
Mhm.
So, so a common belief is, for example, that you know, people shouldn't lie.
Hmm. Right.
So anybody whom you feel lies for you suddenly becomes a bad,
Hmm.
because it goes through your belief. Or you have a belief that, for example, very common, especially middle class people have the belief that, uh, our parents, चादर देख के पैर फैलाना चाहिए,
Hmm. Right.
or you need to work hard to achieve
Hmm.
success. You have to
Hmm.
work hard to achieve success. That's a belief.
Hmm.
And whenever you see somebody who has achieved success, for which you feel that guy has not worked hard but achieved success, you start doubting that success. You say something must have been there. कुछ तो गोलमाल किया होगा. Because your
Hmm.
belief is that for success you have to work hard.
Right.
And many of us are given that belief in our childhood, right?
Hmm.
And
Yes.
now, and people like us, now we see, and for us belief was that you can, and now when we see 25-year-old, 30-year-old people who are CEOs in startup and have sold and made millions, it seems
Hmm.
unreal for us,
Yes.
because we have grown in the belief that you can't become a CEO till your hair is white or you're 45,
Yeah.
50. And now you see
50,
these
50. Yeah.
youngsters, 25-year-old saying founder, CEO, and you feel,
Hmm.
"ये कैसे हो गया?" I mean, this guy, and you start forming so many stories around that. Oh, this doesn't work. What is this? Fast money, money will not stay. And we'll form
Hmm.
all sorts of, because it's unreal for us.
Hmm.
It doesn't match with our belief that you need to work hard to achieve success. That guy has achieved success in 25 years. That I spent working 25 years thinking that I have to work 25 years to become a successful CEO. And then I begin to feel that साला waste हो गया 25 years. ये कैसे बन गया? So I will not like in somebody else what I have not been able to do. So when you don't like something in others, it is never about the other. It is about what within yourself you are not able to accept. So anytime you don't like anything about anybody else, it's a learning opportunity about yourself, not about the other. Immediately become aware, oh, I didn't like that about him or about her. What is it telling me about my value and my belief? What is it telling me about me? Every belief that you learn about yourself is one knot untied. जैसे एक गांठ खुल जाती है उसमें, क्योंकि एवरी वैल्यू एवरी बिलीफ इज ओनली योर स्टोरी ना. किसको मालूम है क्या है, बट हमने उसकी इतनी गांठ बांध रखी है कि अगर वो हमको नहीं, हमारे लिए मिलती है, या हम किसी और को देखते हैं उसको मिला है. एंड आई होप इफ एनीबडी डजंट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी प्लीज स्टॉप मी. मगर हम किसी और को मिला हुआ देखते हैं तो हमको we get some feeling, right? Anything that you dislike about somebody else is an opportunity given by the universe to learn about one belief or one value about yourself. And the day you learn that belief will start to dissolve. And as your beliefs start dissolving, you become more free, you become more light, you become more empty. Because every value and every belief comes with a lot of weight. A lot of weight. In fact, all our weight that we carry is because of our values and beliefs. And we can't drop them because they have been built over years. And most of that building has happened in our childhood years. So it's not easy to drop them. But becoming aware is enough. Your dropping process will start automatically. So every time you feel you don't like something about somebody else, stop focusing on that person and start asking yourself, what is it that I am not liking? What is it telling me about myself? Do I have a value around that? What is my belief around that value? When did I learn that belief? When did I learn that hard work is essential for success? When did I learn that if you make a lot of money, you can't make it to legal ways? You have to do something jholmal only to make a lot of money. Where did I learn that? And then if I find somebody who has done a lot of trading on stock market and made a lot of money, I begin to say, no, no, trading is not ethical. Or no, no, he must have got some inside information. He must have got people in the stock market. He must have friends. And that's why he has made a lot of money. And I start making reasons and excuses about that. So every time I'm giving an excuse about others is an opportunity to learn about my belief. So I'll probably end today on values and belief and capabilities. We talked about capabilities because above that come two other things which we'll talk later on, which are more deeper, which is identity and purpose and intent. But there would be too much to cover. When you have started to understand and learn about your beliefs and values, then probably we can get into purpose and intent. Because the ultimate dropping is there. But that's ahead on the journey. First, you have to go to the Everest base camp and learn to trek up to the Everest base camp. We can't directly trek Mount Everest, right? If you want to trek Mount Everest, you have to first learn to trek to the base camp. And you have to do first a few treks to the base camp and back and become comfortable. Then you go to the Mount Everest expedition. So I would want you to spend a few days just trying to understand what are your beliefs and values. What are your beliefs and values about your capabilities? What are your beliefs and values about the various roles that you play, both at work and at home? What are your beliefs and values about those roles and your capabilities in those roles? And how do you find that out? Very simply, by looking at moments where you feel hurt, by looking at moments where you dislike somebody, or when you dislike what somebody else did. So become aware of things that you don't like, whether your boss doing something, or whether your colleague doing something, or whether your partner doing something, or whether your child doing something. And if you don't like that, that's your moment to become aware. Oh, let me look at that. Means some belief, some value is getting violated. What is that belief? What is that value? And as you start becoming aware of your beliefs and values, as you said, you just become aware. You don't even do anything about it. Someday we'll talk about doing and being and having. But you don't do anything about it. Just become aware. And then see what happens as this awareness starts to come. Oh, I have this belief. Oh, I have this belief. Oh, this is a belief I have. Or this is a value I have. Good exercise for the next few days. Yeah.
So, Riaz, I'll tell
So
you
when you
something.
practice, probably you'll have like I would want you to experiment, and then see, especially I'll tell you, beliefs and values are very. It's a very beautiful exercise. Okay, especially as you come to know about your beliefs and values, there will be a day you'll come and start laughing about the things that you believe. I'll tell you, the day you start laughing about the things that you believe, the lightness that comes when you say, "Oh my God, I was believing this. This was my belief." The day you start laughing about it, I'll tell you, the lightness that you will feel will be phenomenal, will be amazing. It's a lightness that has to be experienced.
Okay, sounds interesting. So,
Yeah.
Riaz, when you were talking about like watching over your beliefs or something, so I was thinking about some of my experiences and all, and what I realized that I have a very strong belief that if I am doing good, then only good should happen to me.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good belief.
yeah, that is a belief that if I'm doing good, only good should happen to me. So when if something not so good happens, then I'm like, मेरे साथ ये क्यों हो रहा है? That is
Yes.
how, yeah, that
Yeah.
is how I circle down, and then again, okay, nahi, theek, it's okay.
So now you know there is just a belief I carry that
Yeah.
if I do good, something good happens to me. Okay. And we'll one day go into this definition of good and bad, because that is the
Hmm.
other source of misery, is how we define our good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, even this definition of good and bad, probably that is
So,
what we'll talk about next week.
yeah, maybe we can. I think even, in fact, I remember in a session with Chetan way back somewhere, Chetan was trying to explain that there is nothing good and nothing bad, and yeah, that was also very nice session we had. We should have it with you as well, the definition of good and bad next week.
Now we will do that, because till you don't drop good and bad, you can never be free.
Right.
You
Very
never be free till you don't drop good and bad. Because when you say you have to be non-judgmental, now what is non-judgmental? Non-judgmental is dropping good and bad. You can't be non-judgmental till you don't drop your definitions of good and bad and go with what is. So if you don't have good and bad, what is? That's the question. We'll talk about that. Everything is. The moment you come to this, that everything only is, everything after is makes has no significance. Everything after is or before is only my definition. So we'll do that thing, good and bad, sometime. In course. Yeah, we should. And what is accepting the is?
Thank you, Riaz, for the enlightening session. Look forward to the next one.
Look forward to the next one. Same here. I also look forward to the next one. Good night, friends.
Good night.
10:30 will sharp close. We'll keep this year of not extending timeline. So thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you all. Good night.